These CD shelves that you see here and all the CDs that you see here, these are actually, this is the blues section of the CDs. It was such a fledgling kitchen table company. You know, it would be myself and Alvin and I getting together once a month or so and doing the books.
You don't have a catalog, you don't have a reputation, and you're trying to attract artists, and you're trying to gain distribution as well, and you're trying to do that with no money.
This is Ian Tyson's Cowboyography. This is, of course, in the old days when they actually gave out gold records. That was really when it all came together, and the feeling was that, you know, hey, yeah, we are going to survive. This is something that is going to be ongoing. I don't have to look for a day job next week. Well, this top one here is Walter Shaky Horton, and this was a harmonica that he played, and this is his case, and it's actually signed in there. And Walter Horton was the first blues artist, the first artist I ever produced in a studio. And we found that there was a worldwide roots music blues community. It was just wonderful to find these people all over the world who had that same kind of passion and vision and were interested in what we were doing, this little record label out of Edmonton, Alberta, that, you know, really we couldn't survive in this region or just in Canada either. You know, the numbers are pretty small, so when you add them all up around the world, they hopefully break even. Well, this here is, these are just kind of demos and things that I've been getting in the mail recently, and I'm trying to get to decide whether I'll use it, you know, mostly on my radio shows. Also, you know, artists approaching Stony Plain. Blues, it's kind of a misnomer. It can be like the happiest party music in the world, or it can be very, you know, real, heartfelt, mournful music. It covers really all the bases. But the expression of the artists themselves, whether it's a musician or a singer, and of course the quality of the songwriting, it's all very real, and so much of what happens in the arts or in culture and in life isn't quite that real. And I always like that, that kind of realness and that rawness and that passion in things. I think another thing I love about the blues is the characters involved. This is a music that you can play, you know, well into your 80s. But the thing about blues and jazz and you know, other forms of roots music is that you can play these forms of music and actually get better at them over time. They've played these clubs forever. That's how they make their living. They're not usually stars. They're just working people. I always thought we should stay small from my own experience, because when we took on a lot of work, we were at one time, this would be in the 80s, we were distributing in Canada Rounder Records, Sugar Hill Records, High Tone Records, Watermelon Records, and we were licensing all kinds of artists, and our catalog was pretty big, and it became more of an administrative job for me, especially. Collecting all kinds of things associated with music, and you saw my albums downstairs. I got so many of them autographed, and every time I have a chance to be around an artist, I've got my camera, I'm taping interviews, I'm getting autographs on records and books and things, and in a lot of cases they'd be harmonicas that harmonica players are finished with. They've played them and they've blown out some of the reeds in them. So, you know, it ranges from, you know, people like Honey Boy Edwards to, you know, King Biscuit Boy and Charlie Musselwhite, Sam Myers, Paul Osher, Snooky Pryor, Taj Mahal, Honey Boy Edwards. If we're going to do it, I want to do it right, and I don't want to do it, you know, piecemeal, and I do want to, you know that we've got something in place to benefit this artist, and hopefully open some doors for the artist around the world. This is an award that was presented to Stony Plain. We were involved in this CD series called A Celebration of the Blues, and it's a 10 CD series that had a lot of Stony Plain material on it, and it sold quite well in the States. The artists that I tend to gravitate towards are ones that are very distinctive. You want to just be supportive and let them do what they do so well. Those are the kind of artists that we want to work with. Artists that have a real strong identity, artists that are timeless, really. You know, those Corv Lund records and those Ian Tyson records and Tim Huss records. 20 years from now, 50 years from now, they'll still sound great and they'll be important records. The production styles aren't limited to a certain kind of, sound that's in vogue at a certain particular time. The CDs that you see here are ones that we send out for promo copies and mail order copies. And I'm very proud of the fact that we tend to work with artists for long periods of time, and that's unusual in the music business. Started working with Ian Tyson in 1985. I started working with Maria Muldaur in 1982 and Amos Garrett in 1980. It's friendship, it's honesty, I think, and it's doing good work together. Duke Robillard and I did 4 records with Jay McShann, including one that was nominated for a Grammy. He passed away at the age of 91, and he traveled to festivals, and I was lucky to be with him for many years. That's where the rewards are, is the relationship and some success. This award here was presented for the record that I did with Maria Muldaur that we did on Stony Plain, Richland Woman Blues. It was also nominated for a Grammy Award, and it won this Indie Award in the States as the category of Best Acoustic Blues Album of the Year. I think traditionally the smaller labels, the independent labels of the world, they're the ones that have experimented. They're the ones that have offered new artists, especially nowadays. Duke Robillard has won a couple of Maple Blues Awards as International Artist of the Year, which has been fantastic. And a lot of our artists are in the Hall of Fame as well. People like Long John Baldry, Jeff Healey, Amos Garrett, so it's great to see some recognition for our Canadian artists. Those kind of artists sometimes can get lost, in a big company. And, you're passionate about the artist's music and you just look at breaking even, you don't look at having hit records. I think we've made a difference in some musicians' lives, and a lot of fans of music have appreciated what we've done. And I think that some records, we can say, wouldn't exist without Stony Plain Records' support and involvement. Other records would have happened, and we were lucky enough to be, part of the process. But there's a lot of records that I feel so proud of that if we weren't there nurturing this along and working with these artists, they wouldn't exist. So I'm very, very proud of that. They're also different. I mean, you've got, Procol Harum with the Edmonton Symphony, and you've got Cowboyography, a huge seminal country western. It's a real western record that opened the doors, And then a kind of a bluegrass country artist, and in this case, John Lee Hooker, one of the great blues artists of the world. So I think it also speaks to how eclectic, the vision of Stony Plain has been, working with so many different styles of music, and at the same time having a real quality base and a timeless importance about these records, I think. I count ourselves really lucky. I mean, Alvin is a great manager and has a great business background. He understands what it takes to survive, and so I can't tell you how lucky I've been to have had a partner like Alvin in Stony Plain for 35 years.
Stony Plain will, I don't think it'll ever go away as long as Holger has a breath.
We're with the right people. They have a passion for what we do as well as we do. So I'm pretty optimistic about that. But I do think we'll be staying small, and it'll be the kind of business that is really a small, hands-on business, and it's not going to get bigger than that. That's the way I want to see it.